Welcome to Me Quitting Jobs, or welcome back to Me Quitting Jobs. So, y'all, first, I want to start off by saying, yes, cut my hair, new year, new look, it's a vibe or whatever, because, last video I looked like this. And so, yeah, now I look like this. So, that's first thing. Second thing, I'm going to be uploading way more than I was last year. So, sorry about that, I was going through it. But I'm going to be uploading at least every other week or every week, or, way more than last year. Okay, now let's get into the video. I quit another job. I first want to start off by saying, y'all know, don't even judge me from the beginning, because I have a reason for why I quit every job. And so you're about to hear this reason and then you'll completely understand. And also, I had 8 jobs last year. Yes, you heard that correctly, 8. 8. 8. 8. There's a reason for why I quit every job. I didn't even quit every job. There were some jobs where like they just laid everybody off. It's those are story times for another video for another week. But we're starting off with this one. This is not in any sort of order from like first to last as far as last year. And there were videos before of jobs that I quit that I just hadn't even made videos yet with. So trust me, there's gonna be a whole playlist of at least 25 jobs. And so this is just one about why I quit my job as a FedEx delivery driver. Let's get into it. I want to start off by saying I took this job because I was kind of like, is desperate the word? Desperate? I don't know. No, not desperate. I needed consistency. That's what it was. I needed consistency. I had never had a job that had daily pay. It was always hourly pay. You know what I mean? Like a normal job, they'd be like, okay, you make $15 an hour, you make $16 an hour, or whatever the case. And so this job was daily pay instead of hourly pay. And the only reason that I picked this job with daily pay instead of hourly pay was because the job I had before, the pay fluctuated so much because the hours fluctuated so much that it would go from like 600 to 1,000 to 200 to just it being a mess. And that's just horrible consistency. So I said, I need a job that's consistent. You give me a number, like whatever the thing is, like I'll take it, right? And so I think it was like 150 a day, FedEx delivery driver. Cute, I'll take it. Had I made more than that before? Yes, I literally had made double that in a week before at a job that I had before. But I was like, hey, this is this for now, right? Okay, so I get there and I start training or whatever the case. And it's supposed to be like, okay, this is my thought process. Any normal person's thought process would be like 150 divided by 8 hours equals however much per hour. Like you would just average it out. Like if there's a daily pay and then an average human works 40 hours per week, you would just divide that. You know what I'm saying? To get like, oh, my average hourly pay would be, even though it's daily pay, right? Because you're not expecting to work 15-hour days or like 12-hour days, because like why would you do that, right? And so I start training or whatever, and I'm just like, oh, okay, it'll be from like this to this, because they're saying like, oh, okay, you're pretty much gonna be here until like, the hours fluctuate. That's how they get you. The hours fluctuate here and there, but it all balances out. You know what I'm saying? Like some days you may work longer than others, but some days you'll get off at like 12 or 1, and so it all averages out to like you making good you making good money. Like that's their pep talk. And so I start training, and it pretty much was like me just riding along with like another driver or whatever, and going on their routes and like just seeing how they do things, and like, oh, like go from this house to this house, and like this is how the scanner looks and this is how the route looks, and then you're gonna learn more as you go and stuff like that, and this is how we organize all the packages in the bag, and just like obviously like learning by watching, right? And so do that for a couple days with somebody. Literally, I think it was 3 days. 2 days, actually. It was 2 days riding along with somebody. And then they're like, oh, here's this truck, this fat U-Haul type body-built truck. Here's the keys. We trust you. And here's all these thousands of dollars worth of packages that belong to strangers. And here's a scanner. And here's a gas card. And here, go out into the middle of nowhere and deliver these packages. That's literally what that's what happened. Like they just like throw you into the wind. And so I was like, okay, like I trust my driving abilities, right? Trust them. But it's kind of scary when someone's like, okay, you only make 750 a week, and here we're gonna give you this like $60,000 van with like all these thousands of dollars worth of packages in the back, and like drive this off into the middle of nowhere. Here's a gas car with like money on it. Like that was very much like, and so I'm like, all right, get it. And they tell me or whatever, they would tell me every single day, like, okay, this day you're gonna be on this route, this day you're gonna be on this route, this day you're gonna be on this route. and the route changed like every day, every other day, and so it didn't make anything better being in a different area trying to deliver packages, because I never got to learn really the area I was in, right? Y'all, they had me in the middle of nowhere. Like, I'm talking about country bumpkin Trump land. Like, it looked like a Trump rally. I'm talking about I'll be driving around seeing Trump flags and like F Biden, like F Biden, like old white people, like love you guys, love the good ones. But I'm just saying, like, just setting the scene, like old white people. Yo, I saw a herd of buffalo, a a herd of buffalo. I had never in my life seen a herd of buffalo. That's how you know I was out in the middle of nowhere. Like, imagine like driving and seeing like a herd of buffalo. Like, where am I at? Like, Jumanji? Like, I was so confused, right? And so the place they would have me deliver on like these country routes was, first of all, scary because like, obviously, like, I'm black. The only thing that kept me like, I'm not even being dramatic. The only thing that kept me really like protected was me having a FedEx shirt and that fat FedEx truck or van behind me, or whatever the case, from pulling up on these people's properties with these Trump flags and these racist like KKKs and Ks and Ks, like the most racist of the Ks type of environment. It was scary. I felt like I was I was risking my life every day. Um, it was a lot, right? And so I remember there would be like literally out in the middle of nowhere. Everybody has animals. Everybody has chickens, roosters, dogs, big dogs, small dogs, geese. So somebody had a monkey. Like there was a sign, like I went to this house or whatever, and it was like, beware, we got a monkey. Like that there was a sign on the thing, or like chimpanzee or whatever it said. And I'm like Mr. Krabs me. Like, like, let me hurry and drop off the package before I get attacked by a monkey. Like, what is going on? Like, I'm real life in a Jumanji scene, and I'm just trying to drop off packages, right? I'm talking about there were camels, horses. I would pull up on properties and like to drop off their packages because people had like farm. Like, I was on a farm type of route, and so I would have to go. Like, somebody's driveway would easily be like a half a mile long, and so you're not about to park at the fence because everything is like, that's the thing too. So they give you a certain amount of boxes, a certain amount of packages, and they're like, all right, get this done. You have no lunch break. Like, you kind of like eat as you go, like if you get to eat. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be like, all right, we're giving you like 150 packages. Um, your route, like by the time you get out to your route, is gonna be like this time, whatever. So my route would take me 45 minutes to get out there. So it's already 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back. That's an hour and what? Hour and a half of my day already gone after I had to wait in the beginnings even like get on the truck and stuff like that. And so I would be like, okay, just trying to like schedule myself, like, okay, like if I want to be here for like 9 hours, or whatever the case, 8 9 hours minus an hour and a half, whatever the case, that leaves me what, that leaves me about 7 hours to drop off 100 and something packages, which means I'm going to 100 and something houses today. And so I'm driving this fat truck around all day. Like, some of them didn't have AC, the type where like the doors were like missing. And so there's no AC type of situation. I would pull up to houses, and obviously you pull up to the driveway and you're like, oh, it's half a mile long. I'm gonna have to drive down it because like if you sit there and try to like park at the end and walk, you're gonna waste so much time. So obviously driving up people's properties or whatever, I would get out and have to be like looking around first, like, they got dogs? Do they got chickens? Do they got coyotes? Do they got monkeys? Do they got elephants? Is there a herd of is there a stampede of buffalo that's gonna run me down when I get out of this van to drop off these packages? Yo, one time I literally got out of the truck or whatever, get out the truck. It was like the U-Haul type of truck, right? So where, it's like seats up front, and then you have to get out to go around to the back to like get the stuff out the back, right? And so I get out, pull up at the house, I get out, I come around, I lift up the thing or whatever, and I'm looking for the packages, right? And of course they have more than one package, so I'm looking for the packages. I find the package that I need to find for this person's house. I Y'all, I scan the package. I turn around the corner or whatever. Like, I'm around, like, I turn around the corner of the van, like coming from around the van or whatever. I see not one, not dos, not tres, cuatro. if I said that right, four fat dogs, like what are Rottweilers? Four fat dog, like standing there, barking, growling, going crazy. And I'm not scared of dogs. Like I love dogs, I love animals. Like, you know, I'm not really somebody scared of animals or whatever. But you know, you could look at like a pack of animals, a herd of animals, and be like, yeah, they're not to be messed with. Like they're not to be messed with. And they literally were barking and growling and drooling, and then one of them bumped the other one, and then they started fighting. And I just like slid back behind, like me with the package behind the little FedEx van, like, and they're going crazy. I'm like, okay, okay, calm down, calm down. Like heart beating, heart pounding, because I'm like, oh my god. Like I'm like, I hope that I hope I unlocked the door to like the other side. And so I'm creeping around the van or whatever. Like I slowly like lower the thing, close it, you know, close the back of the thing or whatever. I have the package and I'm like going around, like I'm walking around this fat FedEx truck looking under, and I just see like all the dog legs going around the truck or whatever as I'm going around. So they go around, I go around. I look under and I'm like, okay, okay, okay.
Well, maybe she won't see me.
Somebody help me! Brenda!
Oh, shit! She stole me! Thank you!
And I ran and jumped in the passenger seat or whatever, like ran around, and they almost got me. Almost got me. But stuff like that would happen all the time. And I'm like, wow, they really were here to like kill people. Like, I understand you live in the middle of nowhere and you want your house guarded, but like, clearly, if you know that you order packages, why not put your pack of like hyenas up? Like they're here, they're clearly gonna like eat your delivery man. And so I was like, you know what, like times like that I was like, this person's not about to get their package, or I'll just leave it like somewhere down yonder, you know what I mean? And just like on the thing you could be like, all right, left your package somewhere over here, right? And I would drive off. Yo, there literally was another house where I had to go to, and oh, and mind you, these houses, some of them will have like gates to where you have to have codes to get in or whatever. And some of them will be like, we're not sending you the code until you like get there type of thing. Or just like weird, or like call me for the code, and then you call them and they don't answer. And it's like, if you know you have a package coming, you literally have the option to put like, oh, my gate code is prior to us even getting there, right? And so that type of stuff would just waste time and just extend everything. And so not only is like I'm in the middle of nowhere, every house is miles apart. I have 100 plus houses, 100 plus packages. I'm literally fighting for my life. I got out of a truck one time or whatever, got out the truck to deliver a package, and I almost got attacked by a goose. Who has a guard goose? Like, what is this? I literally was like, now I got ran down by a goose. A a goose? Like, it's a lot. And so, yes, you get the point. So every day was just full of risk, right? And y'all tell me why the days were literally 12, 13-hour days, like all the time. And at that point, it was averaging out to, y'all, after tax, tell me why like 750 minus, you think like, oh, they take out tax, $623. $623. $623 after I risked my black ass life going out in KKK small caves of land with the Trumps and the Trumps and the Trump supporters. And the wild buffalo and the herds of geese and all of them. Y'all literally got to a house and it said, beware, we got rattlesnakes in the yard. Pardon? I beg your pardon? I'm sorry, I didn't read that sign correctly. Like, after risking my life, and then I literally have to like run through yards to like running, like keeping up a jog or whatever, just like keep up with like trying not to have 15-hour days. And so after tax, $623 every week, because like I said, daily pay, you know what your check is gonna be. It's not gonna be a penny more, it's not gonna be a penny less. They're taking out the same amount in taxes. You're getting $623 after working 60 plus hours, which was averaging to $10 an hour. No, it's never, that's it. I don't think I've ever worked for $10 an hour. I worked for less when, like, first job, Taco Cabana, they already made that story time. But after that, never $10 an hour, especially not for risking my life with beasts and hooligans in white hoods out in the hood. You know what I'm saying? And so you get the point, like you get it. I'm sure you get it. Like just imagine like sweating all day, like running from dogs, running from geese, running from chickens, like driving through like swamplands. You know what I'm like literally swamplands. Y'all, look at this video. Swamp. They had me delivering packages to Shrek, driving through a swamp. Like, I literally, every single day, I would Snapchat my sister. Like, I would be driving on, like, a new wild type of situation, like, off-road. They had me off-roading this FedEx truck in the middle of nowhere. And I would be like driving, and I would Snapchat my sister a video of just, like, how there's no road. Like, I would be like, yo, there's no road, or it would be like a huge steep something, right? Of a hill, the truck sliding down gravel, all types of things. I'm thinking I'm getting stuck. I'm thinking I'm run out of gas, like being out there in the middle of nowhere. I'm talking about my phone would lose signal. It was scary. I would almost run out of gas. And then when I had to get gas, it would take almost $100. And I'm sitting there wasting all of that time sitting there like waiting for this truck to fill up. Oh my God, I almost forgot this part. Y'all, tell me what, one time I get to somebody's house or whatever, and I'm like I said, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. These driveways are like non-existent, or if it's a drive, it's like very much gravel, you know what I'm saying? Or very much suggested. Like the driveway is like a, the driveway is like a suggestion. Like the driveway is like not pavement. It's not like, you could just kind of look and be like, I would assume of all the land, this is the driveway. Like the driveway is a suggestion. Like we suggest that this is like where you drive so that you will get like the least stuck, right? And so I would be driving down like the most raggedy of raggities, and there was this one like drop off thing or whatever, cliff situation, right? And I'm turning in there, and I have great driving maneuver skills, right? And so I'm just setting the scene, like I know how to drive. And so I'm turning in there or whatever, and y'all, the truck falls like the front of the truck like falls off the ledge. Falls falls off the ledge. Like literally it fell and was like dink. The truck starts teetering. The FedEx truck starts teetering. And I'm literally in there like in the FedEx truck, like teetering on the cliff, like teetering, teetering. Like the FedEx truck is teetering on Pride Rock. Like nobody, me and the FedEx truck, like teetering on the edge of Pride Rock. Like I was so scared. I ran to the back of the thing, like the back of the truck dropped down. I like tiptoed to the front, got in there, threw it in reverse. Y'all, the whole time I literally was just sitting there like thinking though, like, oh my God, I just blew my whole life. Like I just flopped at the job. And there was some man outside down the street like looking, because you could see that this truck was like and I'm like, what do I do? I'm looking at my phone, I'm like, God, I have no signal. I have no signal. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I'm gonna lose my job. Not that I even like the job, but I'm like, oh my God, like, is the job mess with the truck? Like, did I mess with the truck? I don't have any money. Because clearly I was making $623. I don't have any money at all. Like, the check is gone before I get it. Like, the check is gone before I get it. At this point, I'm doing charity work, and I'm already teetering in a van. Like, I literally was, like, scared for my life. Thank God I got out of it. And of course, like, I didn't say nothing. I didn't say that, like, the truck was like, of course, when I got back to the station or whatever, I didn't say that the truck was like they were like, how'd your day go? And I'm like, oh, it was great. Like, it was great, you know. Dropped my packages or whatever, like, ate a turkey sandwich, you know what I'm saying? Pet a couple dogs. But, you know, it was great. Like, of course, I'm not going to be like, the truck was teetering. I think I messed up the oil pan. Like, no, I'm like, it was fine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, my God. I almost forgot about this, too. Ugh. The doors were be so raggedy on the back of some of these trucks or whatever like that. Like, they were very much makeshift. I'm not even joking. If I had pictures, like I have pictures and videos, y'all know I have pictures and videos of everything and every single story at time I do. But I'm like, if I had pictures, I would put the pictures in here of like how some of these vans, like their doors would be, it would literally be like a wrench. Like somebody would like stick a wrench or like a screwdriver and like tape it. And somehow like ghetto rig maneuvered the door shut to where it was like a bootleg situation every time I got out and like had to close it back, right? And so I remember one time I tried to close it and I thought that it closed. I'm driving down the street, and I look back and the door is just like, it was the kind where it wasn't the doors that went up like this, like the U-Haul type. It was the doors where they open like that or whatever. So I'm driving or whatever, and y'all know me, I be on the gas. Cute to the story time, first story time, you know what I'm saying? And so the doors, like, I'm driving and the doors are like flopping, flying behind me or whatever. And I was like, oh my God. Yo, the story time makes me look like an idiot. It makes me look like an idiot. Like, now me flopping in every area. Like, I know y'all gonna be like, did you quit the job? Did you get fired? And so I look back and the doors are flying open. And I was just like, Lord, Lord, be the fence today. Lord, be the fence. Lord, be the door. Be the invisible door. Because I pray all these packages did not fly out. Because, Lord God, they had to already be organized. Like, they had to be organized or you were done. And so just imagine, like, if they weren't organized or, God forbid, they, like, flew out and got damaged. I wouldn't know what to do. Or, like, just imagine, like gathering packages along the road in like the middle of the forest and like the middle of the country bumpkin, like deer, like there literally be deer running out all the time. Like just imagine being out there like gathering packages. Like I was like, Lord God, I hope that's not the situation. And so I look back or whatever. Thank God. I don't know. However, I think it was, I don't know. I don't know how they stayed in, but they stayed in. And so I did like still back up and like drive back and everything like that to like look like, okay, we're good. Yo, I closed the doors and was like, good Lord. I literally had a mental breakdown, like a mental breakdown. And y'all, I don't know if I'm gonna put this picture in. If there are pictures like this up on Google already, then I'm gonna put the picture in. If not, just use your imagination because you know I'm not trying to get sued. But this is, but like the situation on the scanner would be like a map situation, right? Of like all of this, like all of these dots, all of these stars, all these check marks, and these were your like drop offs for the day, right? And somehow it was like the stars would be like, oh, the stars would be like somewhere where it's like, okay, your house drop off is at a check, and the address will be like at the check on the map. But the house, of course, this is just how it is. The house isn't really at the check mark on the map, it's at the star. Because of course, being out here in the country, Google Maps and all that stuff is not gonna get it correct. So it's like, oh, this is where the address is, right? You pull up there and like it's no house. Like that happen all the time. I'll pull up and there's no house at all. Or I pull up and it's just like like a what was called? What is it called? RV park. Pull up at an RV park and God, like, like sometimes they would not be numbered and all that stuff like that. And so it's just like, oh, you get it, you get it, you get it. I almost got attacked several times. Like I would get out and there would be like huge, like I said, I'm not scared of dogs. Huge Great Danes bigger than me, like looking like. And there was one that like ran up. Oh God, the amount of animals that ran up on me, good Lord. And so yeah, I was risking my life every day in and day out, 12-hour days. It was averaging at like $10 an hour. That's not the bomb.com. And I was moving because y'all not finna say I was moving slow. I just don't want to get on the internet and admit that I was speeding like I was doing triple digits. But I, and so, like, I'm not gonna say I was doing triple digits, but like, you get it, because I probably was. And so, even with me doing speeds that was like time and a half. You know what I'm saying? Like speed limit and a half. Me doing speed limit and a half. Running. Because I am physically fit or whatever. And so I'm running with the packages, doing speed limit and a half. Going to all these routes and it's still taking 11, 12, 13 hours. They really have me on Mission Impossible, right? And they'll be like, "Oh my God, you did so good," because the last guys they quit because like they'll be out there until like 9, 10 p.m. and they still wouldn't even finish. And I'm like, y'all are putting people through hell for $623 a week. Mm, mm, no, like at this point, It's not giving. You thought it was giving. It's not giving. Like $623 a week. I could very much just like wipe with and flush it down the toilet. No shade. That's nothing. And so I really tried. You know what I'm saying? I tried and I was devastated to even get to the point where I was just like, hey, maybe I'll just have to find another job because I've been, at this for 3 weeks and it's just not whatever the case. And so I come to the conclusion, I was like, all right, maybe in a week or two I'll get another job, right? And so tell me why this day I'm on a route. I finish. And when I finish, like I go down the checklist and they had all the addresses and I had already got to like did all the addresses and I was like, oh, and I look in the back of the truck or whatever, and it was probably like 15 to 20 packages left, which is a lot to be left. And for them not to be on the scanner, which means that they weren't on there, they weren't on the route, so I'm not doing them. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, I would have to just look them up on my phone and then go to all of them individually again after it's already the end of the day. And I'm not doing that because obviously, if you have stuff like you can look at the scanner, look at all the addresses, and like set a route to where it goes from like this house, this house, this house, like do, 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 so where you're not going sporadic, right? But if you've already done all of them and you're sitting there looking at 20 boxes left and you can't do that with the scanner because they weren't on the scanner, that means it would take me hours just to do 20 boxes. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to go home because they weren't on there. So I'm going home, right? And so I go back to the station to drop off the truck and switch to my car, right? And I go through the little port. And the man is like, because they have this like guard things or whatever, right? And so the man is like, oh, like that. It's like a safety thing, right? FedEx safety thing. So where they pretty much like once you get back, they pretty much count the boxes and all that stuff to make sure that you aren't, like safety protocol, right? And so they're like, oh, there's a lot of boxes left. And I'm like, yeah, it is, but there wasn't on the scanner. So like, not my problem. I'm going home. And he was like, all right, yeah, just pull the truck in and like leave it, leave it there, put the boxes on, on the little dock or whatever. And like, you're good. And so I'm like, all right, I do that, put the box on the dock, go hop in the whip and I'm heading home, right? And so I take off like, and I'm in my car. And then I get a call. First of all, don't call me. I get a call from my manager. First of all, don't call me. I got a text first. I think I got a text first, and then I got a call, right? And I already knew what they were calling about and texting about. And I'm like, because they had did it before, and I'm like, yo, if the boxes aren't on the route and they're not on the scanner, I'm not doing them. You know what I mean? That's not my problem. It's just like a mishap that happened to happen. Like this has nothing to do with me, everything to do with you. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, I'm not picking up because whatever the case, like you're not about to tell me to come back and like do this or like question me about whatever the case. And it pretty much will make it seem like if you get back, the more boxes you have when you get back, it makes it look like you didn't do them on your route. Like it makes it look like you were just like, oh, I want to go home, so I'm not doing these. It makes it look like that. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, good Lord. I know they're sitting there looking like this man didn't want to, he got lazy. He didn't want to do his stuff, whatever the case. So I'm like, I'm not answering. And so I get the call. I don't answer. I'm driving. First of all, don't mess up my aux. Do not mess up my aux if I'm on the way home and I'm stuck in 45-minute traffic. I need my aux. And I'm already just irritated, right? So I don't answer. He calls again. Like, manager calls again or whatever. And so, of course, what do? I block him because I'll unblock you when I get home. So I block him. Y'all, I don't know what sort of wizardry, sort of witchcraft he was doing, stirring in the potions, or what kind of connections he has at Apple, but his call got through again, and he called 4 more times. The way my blood pressure rose, I almost put my foot on the gas and just smashed into the person in front of me. I was like, good Lord. Like, imagine someone's calls coming through after you just clearly blocked them. Like, what? Like, I was looking at my phone like, what is going on? Like, pressed, right? And so I'm like, you know what? We're just gonna like sit the phone down completely. We're turning off everything notifications and we're just gonna sit over there. I turned on the radio, right? We're like phones over here, turn on the radio. Tell me why he sends somebody else to call me. So I get a call from somebody else whose number I don't even have. And so at this point they're playing games because they know like, oh, this man blocked me. I'm gonna send let me so manager called somebody else to be like, call Zach because he blocked me or whatever. Like he's not picking up the phone. So this person calls me and I'm like, I'm not answering, right? All of this over 16 packages just being or 15 packages being left in the truck or whatever at the dock, right? And so I don't answer. Tell me why. I pull up at the house. I get 2 more calls. I said, good Lord Jesus. And so that literally sent me spiraling so bad mentally. I was like, good Lord, no, these people did not call me 15 times. 15 times. I was livid. I'm still mad thinking about it. And so then my manager, another manager calls me, and she's nice or whatever. She's really nice and like sweet and everything like that. And so she calls me. At this point, this is the fourth person calling me within an hour. Within an hour, I can't answer the phone right now because at that point, you know where you get so mad to the point where you're like, yo, this person's gonna catch so much slack that I might as well just like chill on them so I can have time. Because if I would have answered the phone, I would have cussed everybody, whoever it was, I would have cussed them out. Like I was at the point where I was like, you know, I'm about to drive back up to the job, like not to explain the packages, but to deliver some fist. Like literally, that's what it was giving. Like you know what, tomorrow morning I'm just gonna drive up there. I'm dropping off my scanner and stuff like that. I drive up there the next morning. I go through security. And they're like, hey, how you doing? Like, oh, you're not in uniform? I'm like, girl, no, just, dropping off something. Drop off my scanner, and then I leave. And while I'm in the parking lot, I then do like a voice memo because it was too much to even get to the text. I'm like, I'm not gonna call. And so I then I send this voice memo. It's like 2.5 minutes long. I might play some clips of it in here, but it's pretty much what I just said or what I'm going to say. And so I pretty much told my manager or whatever, the nice lady or whatever, everything. And I'm like, that was harassment. Like, I literally tried to be as nice as possible. I said, you guys were harassing me over 15 boxes. I said, most of the time my phone is on do not disturb. How you go? How y'all's calls were even getting through is beyond me. But like I said, that's harassment. And I said, so my belongings are up front. It's been nice. It's been cute. It's been lovely. Not really, but I was like, yeah, it's a wrap, hon. God.
Cut the cameras. Dead ass.
And so that was the end of that job. And yeah, and then tell me why then the manager gonna end up calling me or texting me talking about some cause I had to come there to get my check because they want to stop direct deposit because they want to be like, oh, they try to play. This is how they try to play you. They want to see your face. Like you have to come in and get your last check. They're not dropping it in direct deposit, which is like, why? And so then I had to go up there, which I was already mad because not you got me driving up here to come get this measly check, this change. And so I drive up there or whatever, and then the man is like, where's your FedEx shirt? We need your FedEx shirt back. I said, hun, it is at my house. The amount of gas that it took for me to get here, if you expect me to drive here and there and then back to my house, that's half my check. If you don't hear me, said you're not getting it back. And so I still have the FedEx shirt. Let me get it. Okay, isn't it cute? Honestly, great quality shirts. I'm not even gonna hold y'all on that. Great quality. Um, you're not getting it back. Sorry about it. And so yeah, that's why I quit my job at FedEx as a FedEx delivery driver. But there also was another time that I worked at FedEx and I quit that, but that was FedEx Ground, and that's for another story time. And so, and that was before this. Like I said, I've worked everywhere. I'm talking about everywhere, everything, right? And so, yeah, you would quit the job too. You would have quit the job too, because absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm about to be out here getting bit by geese and hit by deer and run over by stampedes of buffalo and attacked by coyotes and dogs and KK clan members. Like I said, that was one of 8 jobs that I had last year. I don't know what was going on last year, but there was probably 6 jobs that were 3 weeks each. And it was unplanned. This was not any doing of like, I don't know what was going on. I'm talking about it would be 3 weeks and the job will lay me off, 3 weeks and then I would quit, or 3 weeks and like every job was 3 weeks and like a natural disaster would happen. Those story times for another time. But yes, the 3-week job saga is coming along after this. This is just part 1 of a long series of the 3-week saga. And so, yeah, 0 out of 5 stars, would not recommend, especially if you're black, especially if you're black. It was giving very much risking my life, going up on people's porches and then the guns and all that. And like, I'm just a FedEx delivery man. I'm not a random Negro on your porch, massa. It was giving very much that. And so, like I said, 0 out of 5 stars, would never recommend. Um, FedEx shirts are nice though, you know, great quality. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. My life is tragic. Clearly. I clearly. So yeah. For when I'm not posting here, follow all my social media at Zachariah DeMilo. That's TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, etc. And until next time, a herd of buffalo.